You're listening to Reviving Kanehsatake Radio on RKR 101.7 FM in partnership with the Pines Reporter from the Eastern Door. We're building a community media hub to strengthen Indigenous storytelling and reporting right here in Kanehsatake. Today I'm joined by Pines Reporter journalist Fern Marmont. I'm your host Sterling Millette. Welcome to the show, Fern. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
I gotta say I'm pretty good. So this is a little different today. You're not here in studio. You're actually coming to us live from a conference in Gatineau. So tell me what's going on over there.
Wow, the conference hasn't really started yet, but I'm excited to see what's going on. It's my first conference.
So exciting for you. You get to do something brand new for once. And I'm not going to waste too much of your time because I know you're a busy woman. So let's get right into it. Your first article this week is Language Grad Ceremony. So the Radiwanahawi Language Program held their graduation last Saturday for the last 3-year cohort. What was the experience like for some of the students and teachers of Radiwanahawi?
So it sounded like a really beautiful ceremony. This has been the language program's largest cohort with 9 graduates, so over 100 people were in attendance at the ceremony. Each graduate did a full speech in Kanehsatake, and each graduate received a beautiful beaded medallion decorated with sunflowers alongside their certificate. Some of the students told me that they were quite nervous about doing the speech, but they were also proud to stand up on stage in front of their community and show what they had learned during those 3 years. And actually, Sterling, I believe that you were able to attend the event. Just want to turn the tables on you this time. Could you tell me what the event was like?
So it was actually a really cool event. Everyone was speaking in Kanehsatake. It really just got to show exactly what that 3-year program is, because a lot of people were becoming fluent in the language, and you could kind of see it there, kind of live, like being part of it there. So it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I have to say it was exciting and it was interesting, and I was also proud of these people because they're here all from the community here, and they all showed that they put some hard work and dedication. One of the people that really kind of made me go like holy was Gohundukta Bova, because she was pregnant and had a kid and still did the 3 years while doing the McGill University thing, which we're going to actually ask you a little bit about now. Michelle Kennedy, the co-director at the Office of First Nations and Inuit Education, OFNI at McGill, attended the graduation. And how did she feel about that ceremony, and what does the OFNI offer to the students?
So Kennedy told me what she found really incredible about the ceremony is that she didn't understand most of it, as the majority of the ceremony was spoken in Kanehsatake. Kennedy actually admitted to me that she had to rely on people sitting beside her to translate what was being said. Kennedy is the co-director at OFNI, which is a program that offers in-community higher education. So basically, the language program students were able to use their schooling towards a certificate in education, provided they also completed the OFNI course alongside. Kennedy shared with me that she was so inspired by all the hard work that the graduates put in. She herself is thinking about returning to her community and learning her own language.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to her. She's actually Oneida, so that was pretty cool to get to meet somebody who's also Indigenous and trying to reconnect with her language as well. Also, Watney Dio Will Garreau got to see his first cohort that he taught pass and flourish. You know, what were some of the thoughts that he shared with you on this cohort, and what's some of the hopes for the program going into the future?
Yeah, so Garo spoke to me about how hard the language program is, and that he is really proud of all the students and the hard work they put into it. He spoke with me about how, as a language teacher, there's a bit of a difficulty, keeping the community engaged with speaking the language. But this graduating cohort and the current cohort seem really motivated to keep reviving the language in the community. And he actually told me something a bit profound, that the end goal of the language school is to no longer be needed. Hopefully, in a few decades, after so many cohorts have graduated, Kanehsatake will be commonplace in the community, and there is no need for a 3-year intensive program.
That would be pretty interesting, right? If everyone was speaking the language to the point where we didn't even need the education anymore. Everyone would just be talking it. So pretty cool stuff there. Let's move on to your second article. This one's also having something to do with the language program here. This one's called Reconnecting Roots Through Kanehsatake. So you talked with Radiwanahawi graduating student Orete Etienne about her experiences going through the program. What were some of her biggest challenges?
Yeah, so Etienne was really open with me on her challenges on her learning journey. She has dyslexia and other learning difficulties, and when she was younger, she actually had to do years of speech therapy to speak English, like learning how to roll her R's. She told me that it felt like a bit like deja vu going through the language immersion program. She struggled to pronounce words in Kanehsatake, had to practice really hard rolling her R's again in a different language. At the end of every day for the first few months of the program, Etienne said that her mouth would hurt from using muscles she'd never used. With her dyslexia, it made it really challenging to learn in a stereotypical classroom, but she said that the teachers in the language program were very supportive and changed the style of teaching to support her learning differences.
She also talked to you about some of those inspirations that helped her fight through this, through the challenges of the course. What were some of them?
Yeah, so she actually shared with me a bit of a heartbreaking story. Her motivation for learning the language came from her father passing while she was in her last year of high school. As she went to an off-reservation school, her father was her only connection to her culture and heritage. Once she lost him, she not only realized that life is short, but that she was the only one left in her family to carry on the culture and language. So at first she tried to teach herself and go to courses through other schools, but when she saw what the language school was doing, she realized that she could finally honor her dad and her family's culture.
And what are the plans for Orote going forward into the future?
Through the OFNI program that we just mentioned in the previous question, Orote was able to get a certificate in education and is continuing the OFNI program to get her bachelor's. She is also currently working as a teacher's assistant at elementary school. And she also shared with me a really beautiful statement that, quote, "When you grow up in the community you're taught, you have to leave things better than you found them. If I can make the community just a little bit better for the next generation, that's what I want to do," end quote.
So thank you for that one. We're going to move on to your last and final article for this week. This one's called First Goal for Kanehsatake Youth. So Kanehsatake Warriors got to go to Chambly to play a tournament. What was it like when the players and the coaches arrived?
So Selena Bove told me that when they arrived, the tournament was super organized. All the kids had their names and numbers displayed like they do in the NHL. They got water bottles with their numbers on them, and then snacks, of course. I didn't include this in the article, but Bove actually told me that when Kanehsatake hosts the next tournament, they are going to have to ramp up their hosting abilities.
For sure. Anyway, a special moment for one U11 player happened over the weekend. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, so 11-year-old Sydney Reynolds scored her first goal ever. Sydney just started to play lacrosse last year, but her mother, Jennifer Trenton, said that Reynolds is actually really dedicated to the sport and gaining confidence in her playing. Reynolds said, quote, "It was really thrilling. When you get the ball and you start running straight to the net, you have no thoughts except, you've got to get this. And then when it goes in, you celebrate with your teammates," end quote. Reynolds shared that with this goal under her belt, she's feeling really confident and excited for future games and tournaments.
Wow. So that's it. I think that's it. That's it for this week. So it was a little different, right? So it was a little different. We did this one over the phone. You're in a conference in Gatineau. I'm here in studio with an electrician sitting on the floor. I mean, everything seemed to have worked out, though, I think, this week. So before we wrap this up, like I do every week, is there anything that you'd like to add before we call this a day?
Yeah, just to wish everybody listening a good weekend and go check out the fish fry.
Yeah, of course. And also, I understand that next week we're probably going to have Hadassah back because she's there, right? She's there with you at the conference.
She is.
So there you go. She could have came on today, that slacker. We could have had her on today.
I know. It's okay. Next week we'll hear her voice.
Yeah, so it'll be nice to have her back. We'll talk a little bit about her trip maybe, and we'll get some more information. So thank you once again, Fern, this week.
Of course.
So that was a conversation with the Pines reporter, journalist Fern Marmont from the Eastern Door. It's all part of our collaboration with Reviving Kanehsatake Radio to grow Indigenous media and community reporting right here in Kanehsatake. For more local stories and updates, stay tuned to RKR 101.7 FM and go grab yourself a copy of the Eastern Door.